Welcome, everyone, to the Three Bells Podcast. It's your boy, Mundo, a.k.a. Mr. A.K.A. himself. And alongside me, I have my guy, Triple J. Our guy, Shane O'Mac, is off tonight. And with that being said, I'll be sharing the duties of hosting tonight's episode along with my guy, Triple J, as we recap tonight's Friday night Smackdown after the Royal Rumble. But before we do that, I'd like to send my deepest condolences to Shane O'Mac, who lost a dear friend recently this week, Mr. Joseph J. Howell, a.k.a. JJ. Our thoughts and prayers are with you, Shane, and the family of JJ, and who we will affectionately call Double J tonight. Triple J, how you feeling tonight, my guy?
I'm feeling very, very good, my guy. Shane, we see you out there, and condolences to the fam, to everybody out there. Love you, my guy. Other than that, we could do this show the Shane O'Mac way, and full support is there, my bro. Yes.
Yes, I agree with you 100%. Shane, again, my condolences are with you and the family. We love you, bro. We miss you, but this show is dedicated to you. Obviously, by his absence, we do not have our three bells tonight, but I'll do it myself. Ding, ding, ding. And we will start off this new episode of the Three Bells Podcast, the recap of SmackDown Live. Bro, what an episode. I'm still mind blown by the ending, but we are not even going to start there because the entire episode of SmackDown was crazy tonight. Definitely, in my opinion, Jay, if you might agree with me, it was like a Raw after WrestleMania type of SmackDown. You agree with me, bro?
Bro, oh my God, I couldn't. It's like I couldn't. You couldn't change the TV channel tonight. It was like action packed. Everything was all in there together at once, and it was like, yo, you turn your head, something else is gonna happen. Like it was one of those days where there was no bathroom breaks at all. I keep it 100. You had to sit at the edge of your bed, like, yo, you had to hold your piss. You're like, oh shit, let me go. Oh man, this guy's coming out. Like, shit was
Definitely.
crazy. Great night,
Definitely,
great night.
definitely. Yeah, definitely. I agree with you 100% on that. So why not just start at the beginning of the night? As SmackDown came on tonight, they obviously gave us a look back at the Royal Rumble because this is the first episode of SmackDown after Royal Rumble, which was this past Saturday. And after we got that recap, we panned out to the arena, and for the second segment, we had an in-ring promo from Logan Paul, our U.S. champion. Yay, yay! And while he was coming out, we got introduced to our new SmackDown commentary team, which shows Corey Graves as the new play-by-play announcer. I'm very proud of that. I've been calling for that for so long. And his new, I don't want to say sidekick, but his new color commentary announcer, Wade Barrett. And claps to Wade as well because he's impressed me a lot over the last few months working with Michael Cole on SmackDown and on Raw, and he's really good at what he does. So I'm very excited to see what this new duo does as they continue to grow and get better with each other. So oddly enough, Jay, I'm actually going to start off right there. We're in the middle of a segment, but I just want to get your thoughts on the new commentary team for SmackDown, Corey and Wade Barrett.
Bro, you know how much of a Corey guy I am. I met the man, and I always felt like since that first day that he sat at NXT as commentary, I already felt like, yo, this guy's got the charisma, the attitude, the talk. He got everything that says, you know, number one in him. Great move, great decision by WWE to put him as the lead guy, and hopefully down the line, once Cole hangs him up, he is the guy. And kudos to Barrett because they look comfortable together. They're former competitors against each other on the black and gold brand at one time. And, this is great to see between the two guys. They're both heels, you could say. So it's good for the show to me. I just love it. I can't wait. I can't wait to see what they do later on.
And it's funny that you actually meant that they're both heels because they've been heels, as far as like on the announced teams that they worked on. So it was funny to hear tonight, like Wade kind of was like antagonizing Logan Paul when he was at the announce desk. But before I even mention that, let's continue on. So we were able to hear from our U.S. champion Logan Paul, yay, and he was just describing his match with KO from this past Saturday at Royal Rumble, where he was about to lose because he got knocked out with some brass nuts, but unfortunately KO got caught while he was pinning Logan and was disqualified. He even insulted KO by calling him a pissed off donut. That's what he said KO looks like. And
That was OD.
like what? But he did acknowledge him and say that KO did more damage to him than Floyd Mayweather did in their boxing match. He said that KO did cause him to bleed and whatnot. So I was like, wow, that's a hell of a shot that you're gonna take at Floyd. Like, what we're are they trying to tell us the story further down the line, or is that just him taking a personal shot? But I thought that was pretty funny. And then we saw Logan Paul mocking the injuries of CM Punk and Seth Rollins, calling the current roster in WWE brittle. Because I guess it's kind of true. Back-to-back weeks, we had injury reports done on our top talent on Raw for the last 2 weeks. So yeah, he gets that. But then he claimed that. Well, actually, before he claimed what I was about to say, KO came out, interrupted him as you expected, starts talking his stuff as he's slowly walking down to the ring, and then Logan Paul says that KO fell for the trap. It was baited. That the brass knucks was a part of the plan that he masterminded, and KO took the bait and he used it. But as you stated, Jay, I believe it was either last Saturday or Monday. I mean, we've had so many shows this week, so I'm mixed up. But you mentioned that he didn't get a chance to do what most people do when they have brass knucks. And, they tuck them away, and he didn't get that chance to do that. So the ref caught him and disqualified him. And KO admitted that. He was like, look, hey, I'm not one to say that I do things the right way and win the right way. I do whatever I want, and I win however I can. So, yeah, I didn't get a chance to tuck away the brass knucks, and I used them, so what? You going to do about it? So then KO gets in the ring, and then this was a funny part that I was laughing at. Logan Paul said, "You smell horrible. Get away from me." And then KO's comeback was, "I bathed in Prime before I came out here." And for those of you who don't know, Logan Paul owns the Prime energy drink. I forgot the specific Prime drink that Logan Paul mentioned, which was, I guess, he felt the best one that they sell. But I just found it hilarious. I was like, they got a cheap promo in, and it was funny, and it was like kind of a beatdown on him. So then, and all that being said, Logan Paul just says to KO, look, you need to worry about the match that you have with Theory coming up and not me. I'm going to go sit down and talk shit about you at the commentary desk. And he literally walked off the ring. And I just found that funny. Like, you told the man straight to his face, like, yeah, I'm going to sit down over there. I'm going to talk shit about you while you're in the ring fighting. So, all in all, that led into our first match, which was KO versus Theory. So, Jay, I want to hear your thoughts on the promo. I want to hear your thoughts on the match. What say you, my guy, in the words of Shane
Um,
O'Mac?
oh my God, Well, I'll say like this before the match started. I just want to say one thing. Kudos to Bailey for wearing that 49ers hat, entering the building. Gang, gang, Niner gang. Let's go. And other than that, with Logan Paul opening the show, I felt this was probably the best I've seen him on the mic as far as talking trash. And it was enjoyable, actually. You know, the part when the crowd kept on saying, what, what, he kept on feeding into it, and every line was hitting. He was like, oh shit. He's actually combating back and forth with them. And that's what WWE also likes to look for with their wrestlers is how they respond to the crowd's reaction to certain things. And that was highly on point. And kudos to him for that and saying what he said. To KO, even when he was talking about calling him a pissed off donut, saying that he was playing chess while KO was playing goldfish, and and they even both thanked the ref because the ref was spot on with his stuff, and KO with Logan was like, nah, I'm not giving a title shot to a 39-year-old. Ain't no way in hell. You already had your chance. So KO was more or less like, look, I'm not gonna stop until I say I stop. So I'm gonna find my way back to this title, to the shot, which I was telling you guys before as well. This story ain't ending yet. This looks like it's gonna probably end that mania between the two. And then with the fight with Theory and KO, I put it like this. This honestly, from Theory, I give it to him. Someone's pulling some moves out his ass tonight. I had like that little he had a flipping blockbuster which was crazy in the air. We're starting to see more of an aerial assault from Theory, and I'm liking the way that he's doing his thing because he didn't have these moves before. So, kudos to him on that. And, with everything happening and Logan tried to be slick by throwing some brass knuckles to Son, KO took him out. Took him out, but just made sure he hit them brass knucks. That was a great match and good display by both guys. And I like how Theory did this tonight. I really do. You know, I don't know. I'm just really excited for what he brought tonight. Normally, I'm not too excited for Theory, but this was one of his best fights overall. Dub?
I agree with you. I agree with you. The match overall was very intense. It was a good match, a nice long match. And Theory over the last few weeks, he's been showing more ring presence, and it hasn't he hasn't been showing the stuff that he was displaying on Raw. I'm not gonna even lie to you. I think tonight was the first time we saw him do that whole tilt-a-whirl situation that he used to do a lot on Raw. Like he's been progressing his in-ring stuff, and I'm very impressed with him. Maybe he sees that he wants maybe he wants to get more singles time in and get out of this whole tag situation and become a singles competitor again. So again, yeah, I give it to him. He's stepping up. But at the end, like you said, Kevin Owens got the win. Everything backfired on Theory and Grayson and Logan, with Kevin Owens hitting him with the brass knuckles and finally discarding him so the referee couldn't see it. And he got the 1, 2, 3. So that was the beginning of our show, segment 1, segment 2, and 3, with the first match of the show. After that, we got into segment number 4, which was a backstage promo with Bianca Belair, Michin, Shotzi, and they were standing outside of the SmackDown general manager's office, and
Whew,
the
whew.
first person, hmm?
No, I just said, whew, that was crazy.
Oh, yeah, the first person to walk out of the office was Naomi. The returning Naomi, who we saw on at the Royal Rumble last Saturday. She shows up walking out with the new SmackDown contract, so she officially signed with SmackDown this week. And not to be outdone, we saw Tiffany Stratton of NXT walk out of the office as well with a SmackDown contract, which was kind of shocking to me. I wasn't expecting her appearance tonight to be of that size. I thought it was going to be just her capitalizing on Royal Rumble, but I guess she really capitalized on her Royal Rumble appearance. So, Jay, you being the resident NXT guy and the host of our NXT show, seeing Tiffany come out of the general manager's office with a contract with SmackDown, how do you feel about that?
Bro, that should put a smile on my face. I was like, yeah, it's Tiffy time. You know, Something that you was talking about recently, and it's happening. You were saying there's not enough women on the SmackDown side of things. So now that we just got, Naomi, we got Tiffy time, and we got Electra Lopez on there now. So you're like, okay, fine. Now we got 3 new heavy hitters on SmackDown, and it just happened within a blink of an eye. Literally, not even a week. We got 3 added to the roster, and I feel, maybe the higher ups liked what they saw in Tiffany, and they view her as I kept, as I see that she's another, like she's a younger Charlotte, but she's gonna find her way through now being on the main roster. I don't think she'll get lost on it because of the amount of women there are. She's gonna find her rivals real quick. She's gonna piss some people off, and you know, oh man, the best is yet to come with Tiffy. And that was a wild slap she put on me chin. Like, yo, you just saw me chin's face go right to left.
Dude,
Boom.
that reminded me of Stephanie McMahon, because everybody in WWE used to say that Stephanie has the hardest slap by anybody. And
Hmm.
that shit, yo, I believe you. I mean, Michin, she was obviously expecting it, but my God, I mean, whoo. I mean,
Bro, that shit rang bells across the TV
she
screen.
she went hood after that. After she got slapped, she went hood and was like, "Yo, I'm standing on business tonight, yo."
Took the
But
earrings
real
off.
quick,
And she
real
was
quick, Jay, real quick, I just want to give a shout out to Lawan, my guy Drew, and my guy, my brother Ray, for listening in. We're gonna give it to y'all one good time. Well, we got a bell.
I see someone else has entered.
We got a bell. We got my pops. Pops, what's going on, pops?
Oh, what's up, Pop?
Yeah, we got pops in the building. We got pops in the building. So we gonna give it. We got the 3 bells. Hey, I got it to work.
Yay!
Yo, Shane, you are sorely missed because I can't get this thing to work for nothing. But definitely, um, our boy
Oh
Quavo just
shoot!
showed up now. We got to go again. We got to do it one more time. We got to do it one more time for everybody. Dig it. I got it to work again.
Woo!
Hey. Nah, but shout out to everybody that's listening to us right now. It's the Three Bells Podcast with your boy Mundo and Triple J again. Our guy Shane O'Mac is off tonight. Our condolences going out to him and his friends, family for the passing of a friend of his. So thank y'all, everybody. And Shane, we miss you, bro. Can't wait to have you back with us soon. So yeah, after that, Me Chin was just like, yo, I want this chick in a match tonight. So, you know, yeah.
Does
Yep.
let's put it out. Let's put it out there for the crowd. Let's ask them that question. How do they feel about Tiffy Time being on SmackDown? Anybody could chime in with their answers to it. You know,
I
we
agree
got
with that.
we got
Hey,
some
look.
time on our hands tonight.
Yeah, look. For tonight, we have two hosts of the show. You know, two of us are fill in for one person. So ain't one person show tonight. So hey, Triple J said he's putting it out there to the crowd. How do you guys feel about Tiffy being on the SmackDown roster after her performance in the Women's Royal Rumble this past Saturday? I'm expecting something from Lawan and Quavo mainly because our other three are just listeners mainly. But what up, fellas? Send us a voice note. So as we wait for those voice notes, though, the next segment that happened was we had a fatal four-way tag match for the number one contender spot on SmackDown for the tag team championship, which included Pretty Deadly, LWO, Legado de la Fantasma. Did I say it right?
You almost there. You almost there. You just
I'm trying.
like I told you before. Just you could just say legato. Every pretty
Well,
much every fan will know what you mean about it. You know
Jay, you want to know? You want to know what's funny though, Jay? On my notes,
what?
it just says Legato, but I tried to freestyle. I tried to freestyle. So yeah, again, it was Pretty Deadly, LWO, Legato, and Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate. They don't have a name yet, so it was that. Um, but then the show went on commercial. So with that being said, while we're on commercial break from SmackDown, we got some voice notes in from Red Stereo Ranger and Lawan, and I guess it went in order. It was two voice notes from Red Stereo Ranger and then Lawan. So we're gonna play it in order.
Mundo, you almost there. Now you just gotta say it with your chest. Legato
Yeah,
de Fantasma. Or just say Legato. Same shit. Matter of fact, you can call him the LWO. Legato World Order.
I'm weak.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not a fan of this version of Tiffany Stratton on SmackDown. It's like you not expecting like her theme music wasn't there, just a lot of little details that I was like, I'm not feeling it. And then the way she performed in there, I know the speed in NXT is different, but not by that much, bro. So I feel like they hindered her movement in the ring, or maybe it's just a matchup with Meechim. I don't know. But all I know is that I think we would have gotten a better viewing of Tiffany Stratton with someone else, maybe from NXT, so we could see her kind of pace, like a Fallon Henley or a Roxanne Perez,
I could
because they bringing her up. So yeah, but
honestly,
shout outs to the Three Bells podcast. It's your boy Quavo. What up, man?
Quavo, thank you for that, man. I actually agree
Mm,
with you. First off, yeah,
mm.
I'm gonna just keep it simple. I'm gonna just keep it with Legato. I'm gonna keep it with Legato. Like I said, it's already there in my notes, but obviously I tried to be fancy with it and failed. But I agree with him because I think that they should have had a better opponent for Tiffany tonight. Michin is uh, like I'm sorry. Like they should have had a better opponent for her. I mean, you had Shotzi back there, you had Bianca back there, but obviously she went. She first off. Wait, hold on. First off, isn't Michin on Raw? Why was she even back there?
No. Meeting is
Oh
SmackDown
wait, yeah. I'm
because of the
sorry. You're right.
OC.
The OC is on SmackDown. All right, I was about to go crazy, but yeah, I agree. Michin shouldn't have been her opponent. I think it was obviously she went for the weakest link of everybody that was there, so she can beat her. But I don't want to get too much into the match because that's not the next match that we have coming up. But I think that they definitely should have went another direction with the person that she went against. Triple J, what is your reaction to what he said? But let's not get into the match just yet because that's not the match that we are coming up against.
Yeah, I feel within that segment. Yeah, she definitely had to pick out the weakest link because that's the only way she will win, in my opinion, based on who she will fight. You're not gonna step up to Bianca because she's she's on top of her game. But like you said, maybe Shotzi would have gave her would have been the better opponent because she's more up to speed. But at the same time, I'm gonna put it like this with Michin, and it's gonna be stupid, but I feel like she's just taking the place of Tamina on the roster, in which she just gets to display certain skills, and she's always gonna probably come out as the loser. So she's gonna be a jobber pretty much the rest of the way, and not being taken seriously in this women's division. So, you can see why Tiffy picked her out the group because you don't take a woman like Michin serious, but she'll give you she'll give you a decent fight in the ring. So yeah, let's go right on to that next segment, to the next fight.
Well, before we hit that, I'm gonna go to Lawan's comments on it first.
First and foremost, I just want to say my condolences to Sean and his family. Gonna pray for him. What's up to everybody on the panel? What's up to Mundo and Triple J? What's up, guys? As far as for Tiffany being signed and bringing back Naomi to SmackDown brings a little bit more attention and eyes raised to the women's division on SmackDown. It looks good. Can't wait to see what's in store for them too.
Well, we appreciate the love and the condolences for our fellow Triple Bellsmen. And you know what? I want to know. So, do you agree with me? Because Jay brought it up in the beginning of this segment that I was saying that SmackDown, besides Bianca Belair, because we obviously know that Charlotte got hurt, but beyond Bianca, who else is there? Like, before we saw tonight, we were, everything was leading to Bianca challenging Io for the title, and we was like, well, if not her, who else? So, do you agree with what my assumption and what my point of view is like, okay, who else is there on this roster that you can believe to go up against the champion and actually beat her? So just wanted to know that. Man, Jay, Red Stereo Ranger is on it tonight. I'm gonna play 2 more voice notes from him and then we're gonna move on, okay, bro?
Gotcha.
Plus, I think on top of that, like, you just robbed the persona, or at least the charisma and character from your wrestler by having them come out to some whack music that sound like Yellow Card in the 2009. Like, horrible. And then her persona is something completely different. You ain't seen none of that in the ring. And I think yeah, they tried their best to hype up her athleticism, making her seem like, she's going to change the game. But at the same time, it's like, bruh, just let her come out and let her do Tiffany-ish, bro. Let her be, daddy's girl. Let her be that heel that you have on NXT. And let her come in here and, do some heel-ish against Michin. I don't know, man. It was a little weak for a debut or SmackDown debut after Raw. Seeing her on what's it called? Royal Rumble.
Jay, so did Tiffany not come out to her usual NXT intro music?
It felt kind of like it was like 5 seconds ahead. That's what it sounded like. You didn't get the full ching 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 like with the cameras glaring. I think that there needed to be more as far as within her entrance itself. They should have had someone come out or a couple of people come out and take pictures or just have the flashing lights go through her or whatever. I felt maybe that's where he's talking about it also because Tiffy time when she does come out on NXT, you do hear all of that when she comes out and she does her presence. Maybe because it's a shorter entrance into the ring in NXT, so you got to do your shit quick. So it did feel off compared to her SmackDown debut within her coming into the ring and everything. If that definitely felt off, but I feel with her now being up in the game and maybe this is a little off night for her in her debut, but I still see, this was a getting up her feet wet. There's still more to come. This was just, to let's see how this goes. She'll probably be back on NXT Tuesday. She's gonna probably be back and forth, bouncing now in between both rosters, talking her smack still, learning the ropes. So, I'm gonna be patient with her actually because this is the new side of Triple H into where he's making sure that roster in NXT gets built up through the main roster on SmackDown. So it's gonna be that's what we're gonna start seeing the more back and forth thing, just to see what the crowd reacts to now instead of later to know if these guys are hitters or not. That's
Okay.
so you can take it off.
So now, but does that go back to what I was saying on here for the last, I don't even know, maybe 4 weeks now, about the fact that SmackDown does not have enough time for everybody. So maybe her stuff had to be sped up because,
Right,
the
right.
match had to be sped up. You feel me? It
Mhm.
was technically the fourth match, but it was the third match because the third match didn't get, they didn't do the third match. So like, maybe that's a reason why. So again, that's why I was scared for any of the NXT talent to be brought up to SmackDown because they might get lost in the shuffle, because of the fact that they just only have 2 hours, and SmackDown doesn't use the 2 hours as wisely as NXT does. They produce 6 to 7 matches in 2 hours and still have about 25 freaking promos in that time frame, whereas SmackDown gives you maybe 4 matches the most in the 2 hour frame, and then they'll have like 6 or 7 promos that'll be hours long within the 2 hours. So that to me, I think that might be the issue. Um, Jesus Christ, we I got 2 more voice notes, and then like I said, we'll move on.
Oh, and I'm sending positive vibes. I'm gonna be praying for Shane O'Mac, and I know how hard it is to lose a friend of the family, and especially if y'all were close. So I'll be praying for you, Shane O'Mac. I hope you are getting through this tough time, and just know we're here to support you, bro. It's all love, light, and positivity, man.
Thanks, Red. Thank you for that.
Well, Bianca, you got Io, you got Oscar, you got Bailey, you got Charlotte, you got Tiffany. She was doing a great job in NXT. So I see her rising fast. You got Naomi, which is an upcoming star that just got re-signed, was doing good in Impact, and everybody got eyes on her. Because she was one of the ladies that worked out with Sasha, because there wasn't no powerful women division. They wasn't taking the women division serious. So now that you bring her back, we're going to see if the woman that they have there now is going to take it serious.
But that's the thing, though, Jay. He mentioned everyone that we've seen from Royal Rumble on. I'm talking about before Royal Rumble, last Friday and before. You can mention all those people. Io and Kyrie don't count because they are with, excuse me, Oscar
Oscar.
and yeah, Oscar and Kyrie don't count because they're with Io. So beyond that, you only had Bianca. There was nobody else. It was like nobody else was getting TV time on top of that. Anyway, shoot, we went a week without Bianca getting TV time. So that's what I was saying.
Shoot.
Before
We
Royal
went
Rumble,
months. We went
yeah,
months without her, bro.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it was just weird. Like it was mainly women's roster that we was witnessing on WWE TV was on Raw because they're stacked over there on Raw. They are completely stacked. So
And now
now,
look.
mhm,
So now look at that part with with what Lawan was saying. With those added people, the females, and then you adding Jade Cargill to this mix, you're like, bro, SmackDown is lining up to be the place of opportunity, but at the same time, all these women are built the same, just about. If you look at, Bianca with her muscles, her strength, her slim, 6 pack. Jade Cargill the same way. Tiffy's almost the same way, but she's a little bit thicker. You got some heavy hitters now, and Naomi's a thick one, and she got her moves and everything. Yo, it's gonna be serious now because now Io is gonna have a backup against the wall, bro.
yep,
Really, now it's
I
time to play.
I agree
Now,
100.
now, bro, now it's time to see if this title win is real or not from her. Starting
And
with Bailey.
we're gonna get to the last voice note, and then we're moving on from this conversation because we got to keep the show progressing. Last comment from Red.
Honestly, I think instead of having her come out with the Keep Up theme song, they should have came out with her like original theme, the Daddy's Little Rich Girl. I think that would have popped out a little better just because it's like her original music. It's kind of like if you saw CM Punk come out to This Fire Burns, like that. It's iconic for Punk. So I think it's just, I get where you're coming from. They probably had to like shorten it or they just, rushed it. Either way, it was just a weird way to see her come out and just, it didn't have any hype to it. Plus, I think she would have done better fighting up against like an Isla Dawn or Alpha Fire because she's already had those kind of matches. At least I think she has on NXT. But either way, they're both from the NXT brand, so that would have looked a little better. And coming in, she's a heel.
My only comment on that is, Jay can attest to this. People like myself and Shane who are not too familiar with the NXT brand, and before we started this podcast, we were not following the NXT brand faithfully like you guys were. We aren't aware of these people, so you got to be mindful of that. This is a SmackDown crowd. You got to remember that maybe these people don't follow the NXT brand like that, so they wouldn't even know who these NXT people are that aren't really like the top stars on the show. So that's my only counter to what you said. Jay, make it quick because I see you want to say something.
Right,
Go ahead.
right. Then my only quick counters to it is just the way I've been watching. Since I'm the NXT guy, and I see how they've been doing. They've been mixing a SmackDown versus an NXT character. Whether you go on NXT and you see NXT, you're gonna see like LWO. They'll come over there and they'll be the representative of SmackDown to fight an NXT group. Then you come back to SmackDown and now you see how these guys just bring back Legado, right? And with Humberto and Carrillo, they were NXT guys. And all of a sudden, now they're fighting LWO and they're fighting, Pete Dunne and Bate. So you got a pretty mix, right? You had a mix up, you got to salt and pepper these guys and females. So, like you said with the crowd has to know at least one of those wrestlers in the ring to be accustomed to, okay, fine. Maybe I don't watch NXT, but now I'm getting to see an NXT person put the beats on a regular roster person that I'm used to seeing. So, that's my viewpoint on it.
Right, and like I mentioned to you earlier while we were chatting, the only reason why fans are somewhat, regular Raw and SmackDown fans are somewhat familiar with Tiffany is because of the fact that her and Becky Lynch had a little feud and a little match or whatever like that. So, you got to keep that in mind as well. So, moving on from that, SmackDown, after they finished shuffling some papers during their commercial break, like I said, before the commercial, we had the setup for the Fatal 4-Way tag match for the number one contender spot on SmackDown. We came back and we were backstage, and it was Nick Aldis and Bianca. And Bianca was talking about, when Bayley goes ahead and challenges Rhea for the championship, I want Io. How do I get to Io? Like, how do I do that? And before he even got anything to say, here comes Logan Paul. He's pissed off about, what people are saying, that he's a lazy champion or whatever that nature. So he wants a number one contender for his title, and he kind of dismisses Bianca very rudely, but he's still in the same breath complimenting her on her 2K appearance and her what do you call it? Her and Rhea sharing the cover of 2K, and then again he dismisses her. Then Bianca's like, "Oh, excuse me, I was talking to him," and he's like, "Yeah, okay, whatever, but you need, all this, you need to treat the top stars like top stars." And then he's like, "Oh yeah, by the way, congratulations on your Hulu special. I'm a very big fan of your husband," which was like OD rude. And then he walks off, and then Bianca's like, "What?" And then Nick Aldis was like, "Well, I thought I was already talking to the top star, meaning Bianca." And then off of that, we're still in the same, segment 6.5, I'll say, when we got the vignette of Legado, aka Santos and Friends. And they're sitting in a restaurant and he's doing a toast and basically saying that they have to defend the honor of their grandfathers and their fathers and sisters and brothers and everybody of that nature. And they do a toast saying that they need to take out Rey Mysterio and the LWO, which in their eyes are a fake representation of their heritage. Jay, real quick, because we spent a lot of time on the ladies, what was your thoughts on that? And then we're going to move on to the number one contenders fatal 4-way match.
With the Bianca situation in the back with all this, you know, I honestly just thought that was pretty much her just begging. She was begging for a chance. She's been doing it for a couple of weeks now, and she knows she has no direction to anything at the moment. So it's like, what are we gonna do with her? So, you know, she's still not gonna find a way to where she needs to be. So, it's just like she gotta wait because all this doesn't have anything planned for her yet. You could tell when all this has a plan for somebody, he's gonna let them know on the spot. Other than that, he's just like, you know what? Wait a minute. Let's just talk. And the little vignettes will just go off or whatever. So we could tell he's not ready for something for her yet. And as far as with LWO, I mean with Santos and them, I look at it like this: all of those three guys, they're all second generation. All their fathers fought, and they were original LWO members in WCW. So this is the reason why, like, all three guys are put together as a group to, they're basically LWO Junior, as was said earlier. This is like another LWO. So yeah, that's pretty much all I gotta say on that part. And I like the way it's gonna go with them.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is why Jay is our historian of the Three Bells podcast, because I had no idea of the fact that Legado, they're fathers were original members of the WCW incarnation of LWO. So that's a good nugget, good information to know. Thank you very much for that, Jay. So moving on to match number 2 of the night, which is the number 1 contender fatal 4-way match between Pretty Deadly, LWO, Pete Dunne, and Mr. Tyler Bate and Legado. I just want to give my opinion of my little notes of the match. It was a good match. I really enjoyed it. It was a lot going on in the match. It was a lot of in and out, just everybody everywhere. Like I said, I still favor LWO being presented on NXT because they get much better run on that show. But it was a good match overall. Basically, in a weird way, showing off NXT talent again on SmackDown. This time in a tag team situation, and I enjoyed it a lot. And I have a few questions for you, Jay, but I would love to get your opinion on the match and the winners of the match. So, Jay.
Like the notes I was taking down and writing about this match was the speed of everybody. It was like these are all little guys in the ring, pretty much just running back and forth. It was like if you was playing that game Snake. All you saw was a snake going quick, pow, 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 pow. And then they stand off, look at each other, and still want to fly to the left, fly to the right. And then you seeing specials come out of nowhere. The bad apples move. Then the women are outside now beefing with each other, and they're fighting. It was like, bro, this was never ending wrestling in which everybody was displaying their moves. Not like any one fighter did not do nothing bad. Every move you could tell was perfected by everybody from Joaquin Wild to his boy, Humberto, Garza, they were all hitting. Tyler Bate was hitting. Dunn was hitting with the splitting of the fingers, the jumping off the rope. It was just, it was bananas, bro. And the winners were the right winners, which were the bruiserweights. Kudos to them for winning the match. And, they represented SmackDown. Let's see who they fight now from the Monday side of things. But, like I said, kudos to them.
I appreciate that. I definitely agree. Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate, you know, you mentioned them by their old name on NXT, which has yet to be announced on SmackDown. But I'm going to play this voice note and I'm going to continue this conversation. For one.
I forgot to mention Zelina Vega too is another upcoming star that I think deserves a title shot, or I could see somebody holding the WWE Women's title on SmackDown. And I don't know who this girl is that they was talking with when they trying to take out the LWO. This new girl, I don't know who she is. Maybe she's been on NXT. I don't watch NXT a lot, but maybe she could wrestle too. So maybe it's an eye opening up to look at her too. But yeah, Zelina Vega is definitely somebody that you want to raise your eyebrows with. She did a great and awesome job in Puerto Rico. She got a standing ovation for it, so why not give her a shot? And also, didn't Liv Morgan return? Isn't she on SmackDown too? Yeah, women's division looked great.
Well, we never got a confirmation on what brand Liv Morgan will be on. She only just returned at the Royal Rumble, and that was pretty much it. Jay, would you like to enlighten him on who accompanied Legado to the ring?
Basically, that was Elektra Lopez. She was originally the manager of Legado when it was Joaquin Wild and his boy that's on LWO with Santos. They were a three-man group with her. But when they brought them up to the main roster on SmackDown, they left Elektra down because they probably felt more or less her ring skills wasn't ready to come up and perform. So they let her stay down like maybe another 8 months to a year, just about. So now that she's back with Santos, this is this is what was needed to make a guy like him complete.
And
And from what talk to me.
And Jay, she also mentioned in that vignette that she never left. When
Uh-huh.
Santa tried to say welcome back, she was like, "I never
Uh-huh.
left." So she wanted to make that point known. But go ahead with your analysis.
No, and she's a really good wrestler. They probably felt like, based off the stuff that she had going on with Lola Vice on NXT, like I told y'all guys the other night, once they finished that little one-off that they had, I felt like that was it. Gotta separate the two. You could tell they're going in different paths, different ways, and Elektra is gonna start being more balanced on the SmackDown side of things because of the group thing. So, this is time now for that side of things to do what they gotta do and we're gonna get to see Elektra little by little. They're not gonna fully push her out. It's just we're gonna get teaspoons of her here and there until they feel she's fully ready. So I could see her probably just working with the SmackDown roster in the back, probably learning what they learn, their moves, how they work, and then when they're ready for her to get in the ring, she'll get in the ring.
I respect that. Now I have some notes that I wrote down during this match. That also has questions with it. I felt, because this is something that I've been, for the entire 2024, maybe even to 2023, I've been saying that Triple H needs to find a way to break up the tag team titles and let the titles be defended on separate shows, because there's so many tag teams. So I found that tonight's situation, after it was announced that we're going to have number one contenders from SmackDown and then number one contenders from Raw, I felt that it was a missed opportunity to finally break up the belts. I felt that they should have did the number one contenders from SmackDown face Judgment Day for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships, and then the same thing, the Raw number one contenders face them for the Raw Tag Team titles. And if they decided that they wanted Judgment Day to keep the Raw belts, then they have them, eventually beat the Raw number one and losing the SmackDown belts to the SmackDown contenders. So then now we can have two separate tag team divisions on separate shows, and it'll allow everyone to be featured weekly. So I think that was a missed opportunity tonight by Triple H and his team. And I don't normally say something like that about Triple H and his team because they usually hit everything. But tonight, to me, that was something that was missed. Jay, do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Do you like what they're doing and having the winners of each division, on SmackDown and Raw, face each other, and whoever wins the match faces Judgment Day at Elimination Chamber?
Yeah, I can honestly feel that's probably a missed opportunity. You know, if now was the time, it would have been at this moment. But at the same time, I think maybe Judgment Day would have had to show some type of face out there tonight to at least, let them know what stipulations are going to be what. Maybe they could have ran the show and tried to disrupt Bloodline or anything or whatever. Maybe that could have happened. But maybe we'll get somehow, some way. I don't know, but maybe Judgment Day interferes within that matchup as far as the SmackDown and the Raw competitors when they're fighting, and maybe they'll put a stipulation as to where you know SmackDown titles first on the line during that triple threat, and whoever gets the first pin is the new SmackDown champions. And boom, next match for the Raw belts, still the same type of match, or everybody's still in the ring. Maybe a double fight in one night type shit. We never know what can happen with this going into Chamber. Now that we're seeing it, so I'm gonna keep close eye to it as far as how Monday goes. But I wouldn't be too surprised if maybe that's how H is gonna flip it and say, you know what, maybe they could fight both winning teams and lose them somehow that way, splitting it up. What you think?
All right. I'm gonna hold off on that. I'm gonna play these voice notes real quick. Let our listeners get their voice in, and then I'll come back to you. So I'll start from the top at 11:06. Go ahead, Red.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a huge fan of these tag matches right now, just because I feel like the tag team division on SmackDown and Raw has been kind of lacking a little bit, and I think it's mostly because they have those belts unified, so it's hard to really get prestige in one brand if you don't have a tag team belt. So it's really weak for me to see a lot of these tag teams fight when it's like y'all really got a chance to get gold. But either way, it was a good display out of all of them. Joaquin Wild, Humberto, Angel Garza, everybody else in that match too. I think it was dope. And Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate have a lot of momentum, so seeing them win was pretty cool too. Elektra Lopez, bow.
Sounds like Quavo, you agree with me. I'm gonna go to your second note.
I had to come back with that. Elektra Lopez, bow. Oh my gosh, she was looking great. I think her rivalry with Zelina Vega is gonna be really good, man. Like I think those two are gonna be very interesting to watch. And then I also noticed that B-Fab showed up on SmackDown. I don't remember what match, but she's in the building. So
Don't jump the
yeah,
gun.
let's get it.
Don't jump the gun. We're not there yet. Don't jump the gun. But I agree with the Elektra and Zelina. Zelina got a big pop tonight when she attacked Elektra. So, you know, let's see what else happens after that. I'm gonna go and play the last voice notes from our newest. Matter of fact, let's give a shout out to everybody that's listening in, everybody that was in here for a second or so. Thank you, everybody. Like Shane would normally do. Thank y'all very much. Let's hear what our guy Elliot has to say. Elliot,
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something, fans. I'm going to tell you right now. I'm going to tell you right now. I get the inside scoop. I have the inside scoop. You know who is taking over for Vince McMahon's place? Believe it or not, you won't believe it if I told you. Guess who it is? That's right. You guessed it right. Tony Atlas. Now, can someone please tell me? Because I'm still trying to find out whatever happened to my man there. My man there. Chief J. Strongbow. Is he still alive? Is he?
I'm gonna keep entertaining this. Go.
You know, I remember when I was a kid. My mother used to love to watch Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon wrestling. I remember. She used to, Ivan Putski and Andre the Giant and all those guys back then. And then Sunday we would watch roller derby, the roller derby. Oh God, I remember them days.
Jay, this is obviously a conversation for you and Shane because I am completely lost on
I
this.
remember there was this one guy I used to watch in the 80s. His name was what was his name? Greg Valentine. He was known for the figure four leg lock. I remember that.
Well, thank you very much, Al, for your comments. You're a bit, beyond my time. Um, like I said, this is a conversation for Triple J and Shane O'Mac because I don't know what he's talking about. But he sounds like somebody who's a big fan of the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, because that's what it sounds like he's harping back to. Jay,
Wow, like Chief J Strongbow is probably even before I was born. That's like more mid 70s, bro. I was still, not even thought of during that time. By the time I started watching wrestling, I got to see the Greg Valentines, the King Kong Bundys, the Hacksaw Jim Duggins, the Big John Studs, the '80s guys. And even then, like even when Hogan was out there, I still wasn't a fan. So, that was one person that never sold me until he became heel. So, Elliot, I appreciate your messages and your, just the thought of going old school, thinking old school, like it's good to hear stuff that we normally don't hear on here, so I appreciate where you're coming from with it on your old school vibes and everything. Trust me,
right,
my
right.
parents, if my parents didn't see those wrestlers back in the days, I wouldn't know what I was watching growing up. So, my parents would be like, oh, well, this guy is fighting like that guy. And, if I'm seeing a certain wrestler, oh, that's his son. So now we're looking at it like from our views, like we're seeing sons of sons of sons, or, like daughters of sons of this and that. We're getting a little mix of flavor from every generation that goes down that far back. So, Elliot, I appreciate it, bro.
Yeah, shout him out for his flashback to the WWF, which a lot of us, we grew up on, whether it was 1980s WWF, 1990s WWF, or 2000, 2001 WWF. So yeah, definitely shout out to you, Al, for that. Jay, I'm gonna go ahead and turn over the show to you, my brother. What I have on my notes is segment number 7, which was a backstage between Damage Control. Jay, you can go ahead and take over from here, man.
Well, thank you, my guy. Well, we all heard Damage Control talking in the back, and they was acting like Bailey was not a prime player within the group. They all thought it was all loosey goosey. Meanwhile, Bailey was all the way in the back, chilling, just chilling. You know, so that led into the segment where you know both GMs, I guess, are in the ring waiting for Bailey to come out and make her decision. And once you see Bailey come out, the crowd erupted bananas, bro. It's like you could sense that they want Bailey to be babyface again. The crowd's behind her at the moment. And at the fact that Bailey said everything that she said, bro. All her words was spot on, and she was saying, she spoke Japanese to them at one point in which she said, "Yeah, you think I didn't take Japanese lessons? I know everything you was talking about me from the jump." And that's what did I tell you, bro? It felt like she was setting them up the whole time maniacally, bro. Like she knew what she was doing the entire time. Like she set the group up to be what it is, and then she said, "I'm gonna crumble this mother effer right here. Like this is mine. Y'all ain't gonna make this any better than what it is." And everything was just perfect with how that segment went. Now, my thing is, I ask you, how do you feel about that segment? And do you think the right decision was made?
Oh, definitely. We seen it from last Saturday. The fans, I mean, people like me, I'm a Bailey fan. I love Bebe. That's what I call her, Bebe. You know, I'm a fan of hers, and I think, I've been telling Shane for weeks now because he didn't believe what I was saying, but I was telling him that look, she's aware of everything that's going on. She's aware of the shade that's been going her way from, the obviously the Japanese members of Damage Control, and it showed in the Royal Rumble where like I mentioned last Saturday, you know, Asuka put her hands up to give Bailey a high five, and then when Bailey went to give her the high five, she kind of shaded her, and then Asuka did it again, and then Bailey was like, "Yeah, okay, whatever. Let's just get back to what we were doing." So Bailey, she was obvious, she was aware of it, and then Bailey said it herself. She said, "You don't think that I pay attention to everything around me? I've been in this company for how long?" And she's obviously been in the company longer than all of them. And she said it like y'all been shading me for how long? She said, "EO, you changed from when me, you, and Dakota started this thing together. Once the Kabuki Warriors came in, you started acting different. It started acting funny." And one thing that stuck out to me was the fact that Dakota Kai was nowhere to be found tonight. And I wanted to ask you, Jay, where is Dakota Kai, and what do you think where do you think she stands in this whole situation?
I honestly think she was the ringleader of this whole thing. Of besides Oscar being there, I think she was pulling most of the strings for the three girls within the group to kind of break it up. Because Dakota only wasn't sued because of her ACL injury. She was never recovered. But now that she's recovered, it's like maybe they have a different eye on things. The way I was telling you guys before, that maybe it's gonna just be a three-girl Asian group, and maybe Dakota manages, or maybe Dakota just goes off on her own ways, and maybe she starts it off with Bailey one-on-one first, or after. But I think now Dakota's going to play that side role, that undecided role. Matter of fact, we could call it. She's not going to really know which way to go until she decides to just pop out the blue. I think they're going to have her sit back at least another couple of weeks, maybe a month before she even makes face.
Now, just a quick for your information, noticed, but the last time we saw Dakota Kai, she didn't have on that knee brace. And if you go back to maybe I think it was Survivor Series or something like that, she mentioned that whatever injury she suffered, January would be the time where things would get going for her. So we're in February now, so I don't know. I don't know where she stands. A lot of the times I felt like she was, you know, in a sense, kind of sticking up for Bailey and like being the voice of reason. I don't know,
Right.
but just to hark into my notes, Bailey also mentioned that she wanted to prove the people who thought she wasn't capable of doing anything, the people that she thought was with her, you know, but yet laughing at her behind her back and stuff like that. She wanted to prove them wrong, and that's when she turned to Damage Control and was like, "You guys were laughing at me behind my back all this time." And then like you said, she started speaking Japanese. She was like, "Look, I picked that up from the fact that you guys been talking about me all this time," and the fans went crazy. I went crazy. I was like, "Wow, yes, Bailey, yes, yes, yes." So then we witnessed Asuka and Kyrie jump Bailey from behind, and then they started just triple teaming her basically. And then we witnessed Bailey somehow, some way, pick up a metal pipe where she laid out Asuka and Kyrie. She was about to swing on EO, and then EO had the women's championship belt up, and the fans went crazy. everyone was like, "Whoa!" So then, I just found that amazing, and I loved it because about goddamn time, they did a great job uh, changing Bailey from heel to face, because Bailey's been a heel for the last maybe 4 or 5 years. Because she got injured and then she came back and she was still a heel. So I thought that was a great move by WWE, even though it might have been somewhat predictable for us because of the fact that we've been watching the show and everybody's been seeing the shade being thrown Bailey's way from Damage Control the last few months since Io's been champion, since Kyrie and Asuka joined the group. And by the way, Jay, I got Kyrie's name right multiple times tonight. You're not gonna give me no love on that, bro. Like,
I was waiting for you to. I was waiting for you to finish to say something. I'm not gonna interrupt the moderator. Come on now, you get your points in. This is. You gotta be Des Taker tonight. You gotta bring some of that out.
I, I can't be Destaker tonight because I gotta be Mundo from Raw because I'm filling in for my guy excuse me, not Triple J, obviously not you, but Shane O'Mac. So I gotta keep it fair
yeah,
tonight.
but
So
look, you just passed the torch. So now this is Taker time. You feel me? Like you said, this is my half now. So you can bring it on. You definitely can bring it on right now. So, if you
well,
gotta say what you gotta say, let's get it. You
like I said, I'm Bailey finally did what she had to do. I'm happy that she revealed the fact that I've been speaking this entire time, that she was not, oblivious to the fact that they've been playing her this entire time. I'm all for it, and I want Bailey to go and have a WrestleMania moment. Unfortunately, I'm not seeing, her main eventing the match. I mean, well, WrestleMania because of what we saw later on in the night. But, she still gets to win the title at WrestleMania and still have her moment. Now, Jay and everyone in the audience, I have a question for y'all, and we have voice notes to get to. So, my question to everyone after I play the voice notes and Jay, what happens now for Bianca Belair? Because we saw earlier in the night that she expected Bailey to go after Rhea Ripley for the World Heavyweight Championship, the Women's World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania. So now what happens with Bianca Belair, which we all kind of know what it is, but I still would love to hear what you guys have to say. But until then, we'll shuffle some papers and we'll listen to voice notes. Jay, I'm sorry to take over your half of the show, but I'm going to play the voice notes, okay?
So happy for Bailey. She deserved it. She deserves everything. In my opinion, she deserves to be the WWE Woman of the Year. In my opinion, because she's just been working hard nonstop, from just bringing in Damage Control, taking all these L's, but still being the main attraction and all that. So I can't wait to see that Bailey versus Io Sky Mania. Hopefully, she takes the belt and wins.
LaJuan, I agree with you 100% on that one, bro. Let's hear from Spotlight.
Hey, Mundo 24 and Triple J, the Three Bells Podcast, Friday Night Smackdown Recap. Hashtag WWE, hashtag Smackdown, hashtag Stereo, hashtag I fell asleep today, so what I missed, but that's okay. I'll go back and listen to this. Hope you're having a great day. It's Friday.
Spotlight.
Woo!
Thank you very much, Spotlight. And my guy, Michael James. Oh, gosh, let's hear what he has to say.
Three Bells Podcast. Acknowledge me! I told you. I told you Cody's not finishing the story.
But Mr. Michael J, you're stepping into a situation where the majority of the panel, aka Shane O'Mac and Triple J, don't even like Cody Rhodes, so they don't care if you finish the story or not. But yes, with that being said, so everybody out there, Coast, Quavo, LaJuan, Spotlight, Drew, my pops, Fizzle, Michael James, thank y'all. And you guys get a triple
Woo!
bells. Thank y'all so much.
Yeah.
So yeah, Triple J, back to you, my guy.
Oh man, and I guess right after that, we got Shane's favorite group, the Final Testament over here, and Bobby and Friends. Oh my God, bro. Like I said, I still ain't taking these boys seriously. I'm not. From what I saw and how it happened, you know, I'm happy that they did what they did. As far as like we said, there was always a final piece within. Bobby and friends that was needed. So now that we see it, it's there. So let's see how it plays out. This just seems like a never-ending story within the group, within both groups, and it seems like there's nothing going on at all, bro. It's like every week is something different. One week they're talking, next week they're talking in the front, next week they're beating each other up at the Rumble, tossing each other out, jumping around. Now this week is an all-out, like, bro, I can't take these guys serious. I don't know. It's just the fact that, to me, they've done so many different phases with Karrion Cross, and AOP, when they first came in, I felt that there was always basura. Like, they just two big guys that just want to power bomb and body slam, and there's nothing else we could see from them, because they pretty much are just heavyset guys who look like they're just in shape. You feel me? Like, what were your thoughts on seeing this happen again, where there was no match yet again?
Triple J, you're forgetting my brother. I told you and Shane this a while back, that this situation, we're going to see variations of those teams face each other until we get to a pay-per-view. And tonight was the first step. We were supposed to have a triple threat match, but we didn't get it. But we got B-Fab seemingly aligning herself with Bobby and friends. So I don't understand why you're so upset. I told you this from jump. We're not going to get the 3-on-3 tag match on a SmackDown. I told you that already. I told you we would have, it'll be either Montez Ford versus one of the AOP, Dawkins versus the other AOP. It'll be Bobby Lashley versus Karrion Cross. And then it'll lead up to everybody going against each other at a pay-per-view. That is something that I mentioned to y'all already. So I don't understand why you're mad about that when I told you about this from jump. And we already know that out of everybody, I've been pretty much the booker of the trio. So you got to listen to me when I speak, my brother. We got a voice note, 2 voice notes from Red Ranger. So I'm going to play them, okay?
Hey, look, Triple J, you can't be calling them Bobby and friends now. They got a name. We coined it on the Four Corners Wrestling Podcast, and they are called the Almighty Prophets, okay? Not the Pride, whatever weird ass name they gave them, like they're about to be Simba and Mufasa out here, bro. Like, nah. They are called the Almighty Prophets. And they look great now that they got B-Fab, too. Let's go.
Well,
Hey, we all got names for them now. There's
I'm
nothing official yet.
Right, I'm going to defend my boy Shane O'Mac until WWE decides to give them a name. They are Bobby and Friends. You understand that? Bobby and Friends is what we called them from day one, but Shane O'Mac has called them from day one, as anything else that we've heard has not come to fruition, because they've been called the Street Profits and Bobby Lashley. So they are Bobby and Friends until further notice. I'm going to go ahead and play his next voice note.
Yeah, but for real, though, Bayley and Io is going to be a great match, especially to open up WrestleMania. And this is kind of one of those things that has been in the works for a minute. So for them to finally culminate to this final part where it's like, okay, Bayley's going to get her get back. Let's go. And, Damage Control is being broken up. But they're getting the Kabuki Warriors with, like you said, possibly Dakota Kai and Bayley being the original Damage Control. And I really want to see Bayley get that win. Because if she gets that win, that's beautiful. But, yeah, man, decent SmackDown so far. That main event, though, that final segment, acknowledge me.
Oh, my God. Yeah,
You want to comment on that? You want to comment on that?
You
Want me to play the other voice notes?
No, I just want to say something for like 2 seconds. I just want to say, we're all here in agreement with Bayley, and we definitely want to see her, get that title, because like I told y'all guys the other day, I see Bayley with the next, with this Rumble win that she had. I was already saying I solidify her as probably one of the top 5 greatest of all time as far as women. So I hope that happens. I hope she gets the win. You can go ahead now.
Definitely, you already know where I stand at. I want her to win. I already said it tonight. I'll say it again. Bayley better win that daggone WWE Women's Championship. So I'm gonna go ahead and play Red Ranger's message.
I don't know if it's just me or maybe I'm just reading into it too much, but I feel like they are leading us on SmackDown to creating a new set of belts, a trios belts, kind of like what AEW already has, because there's a lot of trios on SmackDown. You got
Oh,
Legado de Fantasma. You got what's it called? The LWO. You
oh,
have Almighty Prophets with BFAB now. You have AOP or Final Testament, whatever they want to call themselves. So there's a lot of trios on here. Y'all gonna have to give them some gold for us to keep up. So many trios.
oh gosh, Quavo, really? Did you really have to go down that lane, bro? Like, really? We had this conversation the entire January, like, bro. Ugh.
I've been saying it. It's like they're showing it to us, but they don't want to give it to us at the moment. It's being spoon fed like we're babies right now. So this is premature. That's what I feel about it. Until they have a solution, like you guys said with the with what they're gonna do with the regular tag titles, they only feeding us these trios prematurely to probably get us to that road eventually. Not right now. This is baby steps for sure.
Thanks very much, Quavo, for that. So Jay can go ahead and gloat because I've been knocking him down about this. But anyway, next.
I mean, yeah, them getting B-Fab, I don't know if it really helps them. Because I don't know, B-Fab to me is not a good wrestler, in the ring wrestler. So she needs to go back to the performance center. I really wish they would have got Bianca, being the fact that Montel Ford's married to her. And they all hang out with each other.
Bianca to me would have been too obvious of a, an ally for them, especially since B-Fab is somebody that's been, trying to get in with the group since day one. And I don't know her as a wrestler, so I can't, have a comment on her at being a bad wrestler. So I don't know. I don't know. Jay, have you ever seen her wrestle before?
She's not seasoned yet. Maybe that's why they've been keeping her away so she could learn. Because when she was with the group before, they didn't have a fight then. And when she was on NXT, she probably had like maybe 2, 3 fights at best, and they were sleepers. There was nothing out there. And just as far as with that kick she did tonight, I said, "Oh shit, she finally got
Yeah,
a move." I said,
yeah,
"What?
yeah.
Where?"
Bro, she kicked the hell out of Scarlett tonight. I was like, holy shit. The fans were like, whoa, like what? So that's what I'm saying. I've never seen a fight before, so I don't know. But that kick to me tonight was a very
That's a
well.
start.
Yeah, that's definitely, she definitely might have been working with Booker T. I don't know, but I was like, holy shit. We got some more voice notes from Elliot and
But
our guy, Coast the Ghost, my guy. What up, Coast? We'll go with Elliot first. Elliot, what up?
You know, yeah, so Saturday afternoons, um, back in the 80s, I should say, early 80s, what us teenagers did was turn on wrestling and watch wrestling. Then after it was over, we would go out in the yard and try them moves. Now, some of us would get hurt, some of us wouldn't, but we didn't break chairs.
I'm sorry. Okay. Well, today, the company is called World Wrestling Entertainment. So I would love to get your input on World Wrestling Entertainment and not the World Wrestling Federation or the Worldwide Wrestling Federation, which what it was called prior to 1982. So I appreciate your voice note, but I would love to keep it current. Okay. We got Coast. Coast, what up, my guy?
Hey yo, shout out to my guys, man. Fuck with y'all hard, but where the fuck Shane at, man? It ain't the same. Like, this is a great show right now. You know what I mean? A lot of great comments too. Shout out to the listeners, but it ain't the same without Shane. You heard?
Yeah, yeah, Coast. You joined us late. Shane's away right now. Mourning the loss of his friend that he found out about this week. So we gave him some time off to go ahead and mourn that. So we thank you for that comment. And again, we produced and dedicated this show to Shane because the Three Bells ain't the Three Bells without all three of us. So we I feel your pain. It's hard to do the show without our guy, but we're trying to push ahead. Jay, if you got anything to say?
yeah, man, we all missing Shane because we got some, like some heat tonight. We missed a round. We needed that tonight because there was too much of that. So, that would have been perfect to have Shane spot on saying something like that. You know, trust me, Coast. He's the one who's like the fucking fire starter within the group, and we all go. So we're trying to make sure we at least have a 50-50 input, and make sure he's still here with us at the same time. Trust me. This shit ain't that easy, but we making it work.
I agree with you 100%. And not to mention, this is his show. Shane is the host and moderator of our Friday Night SmackDown show. So we're trying our best to do it in his honor. So that's what we got going on. We got another message from Coast. Go ahead, Coast.
Yeah, I might be off topic, man, but we need somebody in the ring to fuck up this nigga Logan Paul or Paul Logan or whatever. I don't really know which one it is and how you say their name properly, but yeah,
Logan
I want
Paul.
them fucked up, man. These niggas running around and boxing and wrestling and fucking shit up, and I don't like it. Say I like a hater, right?
Nah, no matter, no, bro, no. All of us wrestling fans, we're pretty pissed off that Logan Paul is a champion in WWE, and he is a signed WWE competitor, but he's not he's not a wrestler, but he's really good at what he does. So I agree with you 100%. But I definitely would love to see somebody beat his ass and take that belt, and hopefully it's Kevin Owens. What's your opinion, Triple J?
Oh man, Coast. The only thing that he's doing right now is entertaining. He feeds off the crowd. Lovely. I said that earlier. That's one thing he does well, and he's just one of those guys that they gotta really pay attention to. They gotta really want to follow, and he's always had a following alongside his brother. So it's like, what do you do next with him? And this is it, you know. And he like, look, Coast. He took a shot at Mayweather earlier. I want to put that to you there. He did take a shot, and it was like, he said what he said about him as far as about him hitting harder than Mayweather and such. He said Kevin Owens hit harder than Mayweather. So you know maybe we get to see wink wink Floyd Mayweather's return down the line. We never know with all this talk from Logan. Maybe WrestleMania 41 next year, 40 or 41 next year. Never know.
Yeah, right. Don't forget the fact that Floyd Mayweather was a part of WWE for WrestleMania a few years ago. So we never know, like you said. We got one more voice note, and then Jay, you can go ahead and finish up your end of the show. So one more voice note.
Now I want to know what y'all think about what's his name, Rocky Johnson, with his. I don't know if it still exists. He had a TV show a couple of years ago, so I don't know if it's still around or not. But what y'all think about him moving on from wrestling and doing movies and now that TV show and.
We ain't got no comment about Rocky Johnson and TV shows and stuff like that. Jay, go ahead and move on to the next topic on the show tonight.
Well, that next topic was actually Braun Breaker being in the back, talking with your boy Aldous, and got interrupted by Mr. Pierce. Mr. Pierce is playing a role to
Night
me.
Raw, let's go Monday Night Raw. That's my show. What's up, Monday Night Raw? I'm sorry, Jay.
Yo,
I'm
yo,
sorry.
Pierce. No, you did exactly what Pierce did. Like Pierce just came right in there and just sidetracked everything. Like, bro, you know about Monday, right? Like I'm here. You can come talk to me. And so he gave him. Now we get to see Braun on Monday, which you was talking about the other night. And like, yo, bro, he tossed out a lot of raw guys, and there's maybe some raw guys now that want to kick his ass for doing it. So let's see. Now we gotta pay attention to Monday night, definitely, bro. And then like 2 seconds later, after Braun disappears with him, we get Jade Cargill. Woo. And he was just like, let's go talk, which we already know what's gonna happen. Like we was looking at, the women's division is about to be stacked, and it's time. It's just about time.
Now,
Nick, all this. Talk to me.
I got a question for you. I got a question for you. I got a question for Quavo, Lawan. Will Raw sign Braun Breaker, and will SmackDown end up signing Jade Cargill?
Hmm. Hmm. I think that's probably in the works. Let's see, like I said, like we said, let's see how this plays out Monday now. What does Braun's decision make him do? Does he go back? Does he go back Tuesday night and talk to Braun Breaker about this? That's what we got to think about. Does
Who?
he go back and talk? Does Braun Breaker go back and talk to Corbin and asks Corbin some advice on what route to take and holds his decision for a minute? Because say they win this Dusty Cup on Sunday and they go for the tag titles and are tag champions, then what's we got to think now.
But
How much of a play does Braun really get on the show that he goes on? You
but
know,
the thing is though, Jay, Braun was like, all right, cool. He took the SmackDown contract with him and was like, if you don't mind, I'm gonna hold on to this. And he basically acknowledged um, Adam Pearce's invitation to Raw on Monday. So you're saying that he won't make a decision on Monday and he'll go on and wait till Tuesday to talk to his partner, or you don't think that he'll have a segment on Sunday at the pay-per-view where he talks to his partner about, the options that he has? Jay?
Okay, maybe you're right. Maybe he does talk to him about it Sunday. I didn't think about it that way. So yeah, I could definitely see him talking to Corbin Sunday and asking him, what do you feel is the best type of option for me going forward in my career? Because I could also see this being a kind of a way to have Baron Corbin slowly go up to the main roster with him eventually as a tag team. Because if they're gonna have momentum like this, then I wouldn't mind seeing these guys on the main roster too.
I
I
feel
think
you.
I think about stuff like that as well because the Corbin we were sold before ain't the Corbin that we got now. This was sort of like when WWE got sidetracked with Finn, and Finn they said, yo, you got to go down. You got to remake your character. You got to do something to make you who you once was. And kind of change it up a little to now where now we see how Finn is playing his character well. And I see the same thing with Corbin. Corbin's been down there changing his character, going from like a heel to a face and mixing it up and is working with the guy like Red Ranger said the other day. He was like, yo, it was two guys that didn't really have a mix that made a mix and it worked. So, let's see Monday. Let's just see Sunday how things happen and then Monday how it plays out.
All right.
And I think he's gonna hold
Go
on
ahead.
to his decision.
All right, real quick, I'm gonna post Shane on Matt. I want to give a shout out to everybody that's in the listeners' comments, and especially to Miss Donatella. I love you so much. We're gonna go ahead and give everybody their 3 bells. Thank y'all so much for listening to the podcast. Jay,
Hold on. I just gotta say one thing. Good
go
evening
ahead.
to you, Miss Donatella. I ain't a scammer's scammer. Just to point that one out there.
Oh, coming from the champion of this past R&B clash between you and what was her name? The Smoke Break.
Yeah, it was smoke break.
Shout out once again to our guy Coast to Ghost and Miss Empress for holding down that R&B 2010 competition. That was beautiful. I loved it. Thank y'all so much. And Donatella, love you so much. Um, Jay, so my thing is, yes, you would think that if Braun goes and sides with Raw, you would think automatically that Jade would go with SmackDown. But if you rewind back to Royal Rumble last Saturday, she eliminated Becky Lynch. She eliminated your girl Nia Jax. Um, those are Raw, competitors right there. So you don't think that she would show up on Monday Night Raw and maybe sign a contract with Raw?
But basically, her and Braun did the same thing. If you want to look at it like that, they both eliminated Raw characters. So what's the chances of both of them going? There's a big chance as well.
Right.
This thing could play out in any way. It's like who's first, more or less, to make the signing, and why,
I,
their reasons why. I
I
would want
agree
to
with
hear that. Oh,
I agree with you, but my only counter to that is on NXT this past Tuesday, they were mostly gloating about the fact that Braun eliminated Jimmy Uso, which is a
mhm.
smack.
Jimmy's he'll
This is
run
smack.
through Jimmy. I know he'll run through Jimmy
Would he?
though.
While Jay goes ahead and shuffles some papers, I got two
Hmm.
voices hit from Lawan and from Coast. We're gonna start with Lawan first, and then hit Coast after. Lawan, what's up? What you got to say?
Braun Break. I got both of them going to Raw, but if I want to take another guess, I think Braun Breaker will go to SmackDown and Jake Cargill will go to Raw.
Oh yeah. Shout out my nigga Jay Vills. Real quick commercial break, y'all. We do the R&B clash. Jay Vills did from year 2000 to 2010 versus Smoke Break, and he put on for Brooklyn. You know what can I say? So shout out Jay Vills. Congratulations, my nigga. It was an honor having you. I can't wait to have you back on that bitch.
That's right, Coach, bro. You at any time, whenever you up on here, bro, you go ahead and shout out any show that you're doing because you do multiple shows across stereo, bro. This show would not be possible without you. So I give you your flowers as I always do, but I want to make sure I do it on our podcast live. Everyone, please, if you can, follow my guy, Coast to Ghost. Without him, we are nothing. So yes, I give it to him. Jay, if you want to give him his flowers yourself, go ahead and do so. We got some voice notes to hit, but go ahead and Jay.
Coast, you started this with us, probably in the summertime, and I had no clue what this was about. I had no voice back then. So now that I can actually have a voice and actually be myself and being comfortable, bro, I appreciate you for everything you and all the guys have done, and then meeting all the people throughout here on stereo. This is cool, and I appreciate you for every step along the way. Like for me being nervous and doing things, and just for me just to step up my voice in certain ways, even changing my avatar in the beginning of the whole thing in the summertime, which y'all guys were getting on me about. So kudos to you, bro, and much love your way. You know, I'm here, bro. You're the man of 1,000 shows. So salute, my brother.
A fact. And shout out to the Nets podcast because that's where we all started from. Me and Jay, that's where we started from, the Nets podcast. So again, Coach, thank you, my brother. We appreciate you. We recognize you for that. I'm gonna hit these voice notes real quick. We got something from Red Stereo Ranger, our girl Donatella, Regan, and Coast, and Donatella. So I'm gonna hit them up real quick.
I think Adam Pearce is gonna try to negotiate something with Jane because he knows how hot she is right now, coming out of the Women's Rumble, looking as good as she did, making it to the final three. I will say this though, I think it would be better to see her on Raw because of all the loose ends we saw from the Rumble, but I have a feeling they're probably going to put her on SmackDown to build her up as a competitor that will most likely face Bayley for the belt. Or have that moment where, like we've all been waiting for, like everyone's been waiting for, they want that dream match between her and Bianca, and that could be a possibility on SmackDown. So, yeah, man, Braun Breaker, Kid Buu, as I like to call him, he's gonna be great. He's gonna be great on SmackDown.
Yeah, I think that they would probably put her on SmackDown so we can have that match between Bianca and Jade because of the fact that Bianca doesn't have a path to WrestleMania at this point now that Bayley has gone on to say that she wants to face Io. Jay?
No, I think everything he said was kind of pretty much on point. It's just a matter of like when and how we get to see things get done. And I like the slow layout, play out of everything and how it's going. So I pretty much, is getting me edgy. Like, bro, like what's next from everybody. So, the whole creative, they're doing a good job by giving us every storyline smoothly and methodically. So, let's see what's going to happen Monday. But there's something that's going to probably happen Sunday that will lead us into Monday's show. So let's see what happens because this is getting interesting. It really is.
We shall see. All right, so we'll go ahead and play the voice notes uninterrupted. We got two from Donatella. We got a voice note from Coast, and we got a voice note from Red Stereo Ranger. So we'll go ahead and play these without interruption. I muted my mic before I even finished, but I'm gonna mute my mic, and we're gonna go ahead and play these voice notes.
Well, oh my goodness. Y'all showed them how to make a girl feel special. Grand evening, Mundo. Grand evening, Triple J. The scammer. You're going to always be the scammer because I really thought that, I didn't think that you was going to bomb, but I'm just like, wait a minute. Then it was hit after hit after hit after hit after hit. My goodness. I'm a nurse, but I was off duty, Triple J. You can't do that. You can't do that to my girl. But shout out to you guys. Thank you so much for the love. Got me blushing and all of that, But shout out to y'all.
Wolf dogs, wolf dogs, wolf dogs. Yo, that man Braun Breaker is gonna be great wherever you put him, really. But the fact that he's building that like mystery and saying, you know what, I'm gonna keep this contract just in case, and I'll see you on Monday. Let me see what you write up. So I think it'd be good to see him on SmackDown because I think he would dominate. But I think he would kind of get lost in the sauce on Raw. Just because they got way too much star power over there. They got, just way too much. I think he could come in and actually be the guy to take the belt off of Logan. I think that'd be much better or LA Knight, put them in a triple threat match. Let's see what happens.
lied. I admitted my mind real quick. We didn't see LA Knight tonight, or Randy, or AJ Styles. So that's very interesting. But let me get back to this voice.
Yo, I appreciate the love, but let's keep it real, man. It ain't no me without my guys, you know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, Stereo ain't do nothing for y'all. Y'all did something for Stereo, man. This show is brilliant and it's what Stereo needed, because there's a lot of wrestling fans on here and y'all know what y'all talking about with this wrestling shit. So the show only gonna grow from here, bro. It's gonna continue to grow and grow and grow and grow and grow and grow. And I'm gonna be fucking with y'all the whole way. I hope y'all don't forget me though. You know what I mean?
Never that, my guy. Never that. Every chance we get, we're going to show you your flowers, bro. Like I said, without you and inviting us into the Stereo family, and with the Nets chat and the Nets Stereo shows that we've done, we wouldn't be here, bro. Like, we would have never got, I would have never got the idea to have this wrestling podcast with Jay. I would have never met Jay. I already knew Shane O'Mac years before, but I would have never met Jay. So I want to keep it 100. Without you, bro, I would have never met him. We wouldn't be doing this podcast, because the original idea was for me and Jay to do this podcast, and we talked Shane into it, and he obliged to it, and this is what we got so far. So, Coast, again, and I love the fact that you are one who doesn't take, the acceptance for others that you put on. But, bro, without you, we wouldn't be here. So that's just keeping it real. So, yes, again, I lied. I said we would be uninterrupted with the voice notes, but I had to make that known. I'm going to play the last voice note.
Oh my God, the love in the room is just so great between the fellas. Shout out to my bestie, Coast. He is a great guy, isn't he? He is, and you fellas are great too. Oh wow. I hope y'all stay on Stereo and just continue to help it grow, really and truly. Stereo needs good content. So shout out to you fellas once again. And shout out to the room, everybody in the room.
Donatella, my girl, again, I appreciate you. I did a few shows with y'all back a few months ago. I appreciate you, your love. Thank you. And yes, again, like I said, without Coast, we would not be here. He's our guy. Jay, you can go ahead and move on with the show. You can say what you have to say. I'm gonna be quiet. Go ahead, my guy.
I like to thank everybody for what they was just saying and everything. We could just spread the love the Brooklyn way out here to everybody. You feel me? From whether it's Coast, LeBron is here faithfully. I ain't gonna lie to you. I appreciate that coming from you. Donatella, yeah, I'm gonna be the scammer. So, much love to you all day. Pops, we see you. Drew, you already know. And I see you out there, Dre Z. I see you. So, everybody, we just gonna continue the show, and we got
I'm
the
sorry.
next match.
I'm
But
sorry, Jay.
what?
Jay, I'm so sorry. Drew, bro, it's 12 o'clock. Your ass better be at work. You better be at work tomorrow. I seen you earlier today. You working with me. You working with me tomorrow. So your ass better be at work bright and early. We gotta work that Q line tomorrow, and you better be at work on Sunday while we work the Delta line. So you ain't got no excuses, bro. Be there. Be at work. You feel me? Again, like you said, shout outs to my dad, Pops, Mr. Greg Hill, aka DJ Young and Nut. Shout out to LaJuan, who's been here faithfully. Shout out to Quavo and his guys. I would love to join y'all. Me and Jay would love to join y'all. Me and Shane and Jay would love to join y'all on YouTube. Donatella, we're building our brand here on Stereo. We would love to have it on Stereo. We just started our YouTube channel so people can watch, listen to the playback, and eventually, we can grow and people can see us and watch us as we move forward. So again, thank everyone. Mommy, who's very new to the podcast, thank you two for joining in tonight. I want to know, are you named after Rhea Ripley tonight? I don't know. We've been privy to a lot of women who are into wrestling. It's different for us. So if you are, definitely drop a voice note. Yeah, Jay, go ahead and move on.
All right, all right, all right. Let's go. Let's hit this. We got the next matchup, and as Red Ranger was saying, when Tiffy Time came out, we didn't get Tiffy Time. It felt different. And she fought Me Chin. Great match. I loved it. But it was, it was a different type of a style match for me. Like does I'm gonna ask you this question based on the match. How do you feel the match went and the debut. Did you like the debut, or did you expected what you saw previously on NXT?
I never expect anything that I see on NXT on the main roster of Raw and SmackDown because they don't get the same amount of time. But I still felt it was a strong debut for Tiffany. Like I said earlier tonight, that I wish she might have had a better opponent in the ring, but Mi Chin did what she had to do, which was put Tiffany over, and she did exactly that. So all in all, I don't have any gripes about the match. Like I said, it was a strong debut for Tiffany, and I would love to see where her story goes moving forward, after WrestleMania season, because as we know, WrestleMania season is about the big dogs. But moving forward from that to the rest of the year, I only see her star going forward. Jay?
You're definitely right about that. I liked some of the stuff she did display in the ring earlier. Like she started off the match with like an Alabama slam out of nowhere. Like, bro, she was quick with it. We could see her power. We could see how she works in the ring. You know, they could have slowly, like I said, they could have spoon feed us someone like her. So I'm all for it right now. Based on it being Michin, okay, fine. It was her, granted. Could have been someone else, but it didn't look like there was anybody else back there but Shotzi. And we already knew it wasn't going to be Bianca because Bianca's thinking championships. And, Tiffany ain't thinking that at the moment. That's not her preparation as of yet. So, kudos to Tiffy for hitting that Alabama slam and then hitting that prettiest moonsault ever. She went bing, bing, bang, flip. What? That move is crazy. Like I said, that's a little bit of that Charlotte Flair charisma that she had with that ending. Because we know Charlotte for doing that little moonsault. So kudos to Tiffy for one-upping that moonsault, if you want to say. And I guess that right there put us into our final segment, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Correct.
With
But that, I just want to play the voice note from Donatella.
Definitely keep doing what y'all doing because Kings of Stereo is coming back. I know y'all don't know what that is, but it's an array of categories, and I watch everybody on this page. So we come up with categories based off of what you fellas do here on Stereo and what y'all contribute here on Stereo. So keep doing what you're doing. You may get nominated for a category or two. You never know.
Okay,
Well,
Donatella, this was one thing. Hold on, this was one thing I did, kind of left in one of your messages played, that I wanted some info on that, to know how this goes and everything as far as with the Kings of Stereo. I appreciate you letting us already, getting us a little insight on it and everything because we definitely would at least just love the consideration. We appreciate everything that you're letting us know about it right now at the moment. Like you got a little glimpse of me the other night, and now you're getting this side of me, which you pretty much probably heard on a few other shows because I know you've been around. I see you, Des.
no, I would love to acknowledge what she said because I remember, I participated in the award show
Uh,
a few months ago, and it was just something that I was definitely doing for my guy Coast, but then I got to know a lot of the participants in the award show, and it was something that was amazing to me. And again, it was just another reason why I wanted to do what we're doing now with this podcast. And I thought that it would be something that would be out of the box because on Stereo you can have conversations about anything, and I like that the fact that you can search around and find conversations that interest you. It doesn't matter what the topic is. Most of the time, there is no topic. So I appreciate that, and thank y'all so much for accepting us and what we're doing and our knowledge for what we are doing.
Give him another 3 bells for that. Just for that, Des. We got to get him for that.
I got you right now. It's working. It's working tonight. It's working on my behalf. Shane O'Mac's not here, but
Yeah,
for
baby.
me. Let's go. The 3 bells is working for me tonight. Jay.
Des. We could go into this last segment, my guy. Oh my God, that was probably the segment of all segments. Everybody who watched SmackDown tonight can chime in on how they felt on it.
bro,
Dez is gonna Dez is gonna come out saying it, how he felt on it, but whew, that shit had me sweating bullets, bro. It was
bro,
great.
it's not even everybody that watched SmackDown tonight. It's everybody that's watched WWE, WWF since the mid or late 90s up until now. They can all comment on it. And, we would rather have you comment on it if you watched it tonight, but definitely.
And remember, yo, Des, remember what I was sending you earlier? Like, yo, bro, this shit was already, it was stirring the pot. Like, somebody saw something and posted it, and you automatically knew, like, oh, shit, something's happening tonight. So, yeah, man, this was a great way to go tonight.
Right.
And I'm happy the angle's going to go the way it is. But I still see some other things happening. So, I want to get your insight and how you felt on that happening. Because, like, once you give me your little insight and those who want to listen to it, I'm going to play some of the words that was said during it prior to the main event coming out.
All right, so this is we only have, I want to let everybody know, we only have 15 minutes prior from when a show ends to when we start our podcast to put together this show. So I don't want to say it's a rush show, because it's not, because we watch SmackDown and Raw and NXT to the fullest extent, but we only have 15 minutes between the ending of the show and when we start a podcast. So I don't know what Jay is gonna ask me. I don't know what Jay is gonna play, but I'm gonna just, I wrote some notes down. It's a lot of notes because this promo went about maybe 30 minutes longer. So I'm not sure, because I was watching it not on playback, but I was watching it on DVR, so I was catching up to the show. But this segment number 12, started off with Nick Aldis, who is the SmackDown GM, and Adam Pearce, who is the Raw GM, in the ring, because the winner of the men's Royal Rumble match, Cody Rhodes, was making his decision on who he wants to face in the main event of WrestleMania 40, which is which is 2 nights now, because WWE does 2 nights with WrestleMania. And this is the Sunday main event that we're talking about. And Roman Reigns' music comes out. Roman Reigns, who is the current WWE Universal Champion, and Roman has been the champion since 2020. And if you are not aware, it is 2024. So this man has been champion for almost 4 years. So he comes out with his bloodline, his cousins Jimmy Uso and Solo Sikoa, and his what is it? Paul Heyman is called his I forgot, because I'm thinking of Brock Lesnar. What is it?
His wise man.
His wise man, exactly. Yeah, he's been called so many different names in the last few years, but yeah, he comes out with the wise man, Paul Heyman, and he demands that the Birmingham, Alabama crowd acknowledges him, as the champion, as the guy of WWE and overall of sports entertainment in general. So he acknowledges, the fact that Seth Rollins, who he called his little brother, said a few things on Monday which offended him. He said that he can't let it slide, which I understand. You take offense to it. He said that Roman, excuse me, he said that Seth, I'm sorry, mentioned that his title was the Hollywood title, and he joked upon the fact that of Roman's schedule, that Roman doesn't really fight too often and stuff of that nature. So then Roman attacked back and called Seth's title the title of people who went against Roman, and said that it's just the loser's title. Everyone that faced me lost, and now they're facing Seth, and it's just nothing but losers. And then he then said that he can't respect Seth because of the fact that he runs around in his wife's clothes. If you watch Monday Night Raw, Seth has some questionable attire that he comes to the ring in or whatnot. So he said that, and then he jokes about the fact that Seth calls himself the workhorse champion, but then he says that Seth broke his back carrying that championship in the Raw brand. You feel me? So then Roman goes on to make fun of how Seth walks, because Seth is currently dealing with a MCL tear and a partial meniscus tear in his knee. So he's walking around with a limp because he's injured. So he laughed at that. And then he says that Seth made fun of the schedule that Roman currently works. And Roman, he said, well, I work 10 times less than Seth Rollins does, but then he says that he makes 10 times more than Seth does, which is like that was a goddamn like wow, wow. And then he said to Cody, he said, Cody, you can be the very best number 2 in the company, is taking a shot at Seth, or you can take another crack at the number 1, which is him. And then once he said that, Cody comes out. Cody comes out, the fans go crazy. He comes out, he does his thing, and then Cody's like, yeah, in all this time since he spoke to Seth on Monday at Raw, he spoke to legends and family members and friends and all of that nature. And he says to Roman, I expected us to have the ring to ourselves, because at that point when Cody came out, it was him, Roman, and then Paul Heyman, Solo Sikoa, and Jimmy Uso in the ring. So he told him, I expected us to have the ring. Can we have the ring to ourselves? So then Roman goes ahead and obliges and tells the Bloodline to go ahead and disperse and go out to the sidelines, which they do. Then he asks Roman, what do you think finishing the story means? Obviously, he didn't give Roman a chance to answer that question, and he answered it himself. He said, to me, finishing the story can be basically winning the title from you. But then he was like, whoa, finishing the story can also mean taking everything from you. And this is something that I've been harping on from jump, when Jay's been talking about, 2 nights of Roman defending the title and all this other stuff. And I was like, look, Roman's the WWE Universal Champion, and he's the head of the table. And I was like, you can't do one without the other. If Roman loses in a non-title match, it doesn't mean anything for him to lose the WWE Championship after that, or vice versa. It got to be in one situation. So Cody tells Roman that he's coming for him, but it's not at WrestleMania. And that just sent everybody in the crowd like, whoa, like what? And then you got a chance to see Adam Pearce like, hold up, what? I was even like, what? Even though I kind of knew what was going on, but still to see this happening was just like, wow. And then he again mentioned the fact that he took counsel from a legend, and then he said that he took counsel from someone who knows Roman very well. And that being said, The Rock comes out. Dwayne Johnson, The Rock. Everyone knows who he is. If you haven't been watching WWE, you know him from the mid-90s all the way up to now. As a movie star, wrestling star, he comes out. The fans go crazy. Everybody's going crazy. I knew he was coming, but it was still a special moment to see him coming out. And he walks to the ring. He does his Rock situation with the arm up, smelling everything, and the crowd's just going ridiculous. And then he stares down Cody Rhodes, and they're looking at each other. And then The Rock extends his hand to him. Cody shakes his hand, and then The Rock embraces him. They hug, and The Rock starts talking to Cody. His music's still playing. We can't hear what he's saying to Cody, but he says something to him for a while. And then Cody obliges to what he says. He smiles at him. And then Cody says to The Rock, Roman's all yours. And then he exits the ring. And The Rock has his back towards Roman this entire time. The fans are still going crazy. His music's still playing. And after that, The Rock, he turns around. Now we have Roman and The Rock staring each other down. Paul Heyman gives Roman Reigns the WWE Universal Championship. Roman's looking a little worried as, they stand across the ring from each other, all in the corners and stuff of that nature. And then they inch closer to each other. The fans are still going crazy. The fans are wilding out. They start chanting, this is awesome. And then they inch closer to each other even more. And closer until they are face to face. And then in typical WWE fashion, we get the end credits, and the show fades to black while the fans are still going crazy, and we have The Rock and Roman Reigns facing each other. Jay, I know you said that you caught 7 minutes of this. What are your thoughts on that? Quavo, what are your thoughts on that? Juan, what are your thoughts on that? And anybody else that's a wrestling fan, what are your thoughts on that? Go ahead, Jay.
Bro, I watched the replay, and it was wild, very wild, and I was excited to see it how it all played out because, bro, we already know The Rock from our childhood. It's just like, yo, bro, nothing makes wrestling better without him. I mean, wrestling is great, but we need him at some point. So this was a must. We needed The Rock, bro. And I was saying to you the other day, I was like, look, if this shit doesn't happen by this Friday or by this week, sometime, then there's no reason to really have a good storyline to start it off. And this was the best way for it to start off. So I'm happy and I'm excited because I want to see how now this is going to play out in the long run. And at the same time, I still feel that it could still be a 2-night thing. You know, Somebody's going to say something on Monday. That's why I keep on saying, like, yo, Monday's going to be really interesting, bro. Like, we got to think now, what does Cody say Monday? What does he do Monday? Somebody's going to tell him something different. And then he's going to probably come back and SmackDown again next week. It's going to be a back and forth thing to where, Cody's going to be like, nah, you can't sway me this way, but now you're swaying me that way. Like, I got to do something for myself, like he's obvious. You can see Cody saying that to The Rock, but eventually something else is going to happen that's going to persuade him back to Roman. So, the way this played out was great. The way the crowd was awesome, bro. Like, you can't get any better with how the crowd reacted to The Rock. And this is great for wrestling in general leading into the future. Why not with your boss, with one of your bosses, one of the heads of the table right now? So, the man with the power is there. He's got a good plan. And this is going to be a storyline that's going to set some fire off. And I'm ready for it, And to end it all, I'm just give my shout out to Steppers Dawn. I see you out there, and let's get to these voice messages real quick.
Step is done. You got your 3 bells. Yeah. Again, agreeing with you. I always said that this whole situation with the bloodline and Roman Reigns, you gotta beat The Rock before you can proclaim yourself as the head of the table, because in all of our eyes of that family, the most recognized person is The Rock. So it has to go down. It has to be this way. And I don't want to go ahead and make my predictions for this match much early. We'll wait till our WrestleMania pre-show. But man, oh man, the electricity this garnered was amazing. I mean,
Des,
man.
bro, what's the crazy thing about this whole thing, Des? One of my guys who's a Cody fan, while this is happening, he's messaging me and he's like, no, this can't be happening. Why? Why, Cody? Why? And I'm like, bro, you think it makes sense. You gotta just let this play out, bro. And he's like, no, but
Jay,
Punk was right. What happened?
what did I tell y'all? I said in your whole diatribe about having, the 2-night situation or whatever like that, I said it would mean more for Cody to beat Roman Reigns if Roman Reigns beats The Rock, because
Mm-hmm.
there's no higher standard after that. There's no higher standard. It solidifies him as the head of the table of that family and the head of the table of WWE, WWF, because at one point The Rock was bigger than Stone Cold Steve Austin. So it makes sense to go this
Right,
route.
right.
You feel me? I'm gonna play the voice notes that we got. We got a lot of voice notes,
Go
and here
ahead.
we go.
I think that the fact that he called the number 2 title, like, the disrespect of Roman to Seth is it's not even subtle anymore. It's just straight up direct and blatant, and I love it. Like, he has really gotten into another level of his heel-ish, and it's great. It's great. This man is great. I think everything leading up to The Rock showing up was great too, man. Like, and this also builds up that that moment that we've all been waiting for. The tribal combat between The Rock and Roman Reigns, and I think now is the best time for them to capitalize on it, considering they want Roman to be the one to beat Hulk's undefeated streak, as it were.
Quavo, you don't think that the fact that Roman called Seth his little brother was another thing that was like insulting to Seth Rollins? Because to my knowledge, you and Triple J are the historians, but to my knowledge, and I wasn't even watching WWE at the time, wasn't Seth the original leader of the Shield? So for him to call him his little brother is just like, whoa. But let's go to the rest of the voice notes.
Well, I told you guys on Monday that this shit was going to happen. It's obvious that Roman Reigns is going to keep that belt all the way till next WrestleMania for 1,000, going on 1,000 wins for holding up, not 1,000 wins, but 1,000 days for holding that belt. All of this is showing that The Rock just shot, part owner of the TKO movement. This is basically to put Roman Reigns over and help him. He doesn't really need it, but this is really just going to push him into that ultimate superstar once he faces The Rock. But I'm very interested to see how the segments are going to be and what's the reason on why The Rock wants to face his cousin at Mania. I'm very interested on the Cody going against Seth Rollins is good. Does he finish his story at Mania? He does, and then he loses it right at Mania. I really think that Damian Priest is going to cash his money in the bank at Mania against Cody. Just for the fact that they got history with each other. The storyline is already there, like I've been saying. Everything I've been saying lately has been right about what's going to happen. So, cross my fingers.
Well, Luan, I'll say that obviously he can't finish his story because he made it known that the title that Roman Reigns holds is the title that he wants most. So if he wins the World Heavyweight Championship, he's not finishing his story. He's continuing his story, you know. But if he beats Seth at WrestleMania, I agree with you. I do see Damian cashing it in. Again, Damian has until July to cash in that Money in the Bank, so I see that happening as well. But again, Cody does not finish the story by winning the World Heavyweight Championship. That is still, in all of our minds, we all know the truth, that is still the secondary championship in World Wrestling Entertainment because the name of the company is World Wrestling Entertainment. And the champion that holds the World Wrestling Entertainment Championship is Roman Reigns. So, yes, we can discount the Universal Championship because it was a replacement for the World Heavyweight title. But at the end of the day, that's what's keeping Roman as this almighty champion because he's held that belt since 2020. We're going to go ahead and keep going with the voice notes. Coach, what you got to say?
Yeah, I remember on a previous episode, y'all was tapping in about the Rock daughter. Y'all wasn't too happy with, her trying to do the manager shit that she needs to wrestle. So how we looking? Like, she going, now that her pops is back and shit, she going to wrestle or she still on that management timing?
Coach, my guy, well, you got a good memory, but I was the only one on the panel that was vouching for her to be a manager. And she last week became the official general manager of the third brand of WWE, which is NXT. So I was proven right. So she is the general manager of NXT. So I'm going to gloat about that, but I don't gloat too much because my guys gave me my flowers about that. But yes, she is the general manager of NXT, which is Jay's show. We got one more voice note, Jay, and you can do what you do. Okay? One.
And there's history with the whole bloodline thing. I think this is just the end of it right here. This will be like the final thing of the bloodline storyline. It ends with The Rock. Paul Heyman, he's managed The Rock's family before. He's managing Roman Reigns. This is the final chapter of the bloodline.
Jay, you can answer this. You can respond to that, but I'll start it off. But I'll say that I don't believe it's the end. Again, to solidify Roman Reigns as a champion and the champion of this modern era, he has to beat The Rock, who beat Hulk Hogan. Who's the guy of the 80s or whatever of that nature, and the guy of the WWF and then I guess the WWE. So it's not the end. It's a continuation. He has to beat The Rock to be solidified as the head of the table without question and the champion without question. You know, I don't see The Rock winning the championship. What would he do? He's still a Hollywood star, and in the same boat as John Cena. They're not going to be around continuously, even with the type of schedule that Roman Reigns is, going with right now. I don't see that happening. Jay, your thoughts on that?
I'm gonna put it like this. The way I'm looking at it is, like I've been telling you guys, you know, it's all about what's around Roman's neck as to what is around his waist. The Rock is looking at those red beads like, look, those red things mean more to me than winning a title at this stage of my life. Say, somebody else could take that title. I could just probably soften you up for the person who takes your title. So, you know, I, the way I'm seeing it is just totally different, and I want it to play out the way it was supposed to play out with them two fighting for the prestige of that. Because we even seen at the Rumble, Jimmy and Jay came out with flowers, blue and white flowers, which means that they're under bosses type. Say you could say like they're not where the boss is at because Roman got the red beads around his neck the other night, the Ulafala. So you're like, okay, fine. We know who's the main boss of all bosses. It's him at the moment. So this all is supposed to play out the way that it's supposed to, be. That's the way, like we had maybe a couple of years ago where Jay fought him, and Jay wanted, both the title and the Ula Fala was on the line, and they didn't want nobody in the ring. They held each other head to head, did their little talk, and the fight happened. So now with The Rock, this is playing differently because he's an OG. The OGs don't want to go for belts, like you said. There's John Cena didn't go for a belt. He was more or less pushing these guys. And back then we had the Hogan Cena, we had the Rock Cena. We had certain character pushes to where we had to say like, look, when can we acknowledge the fact that Roman is the guy of this generation, this whole era, by doing it this way? Like even that guy that asked that question after the Rumble and you brought it up, there's like, what era are we in? Is this a new era? So the era eventually got to end a certain way. It's just not going to end yet. There's still more to this. And there's still more to what leads on for Cody in the future. So let's see how this all plays out. And, it's a good time to be a wrestling fan because now this shit got you excited at the right time. Everybody's not even thinking about Elimination Chamber at the moment, which is crazy. Nobody's even thinking about it. But, now how is WWE going to respond in pushing us Elimination Chamber without forgetting about WrestleMania after The Rock did what he did? That's what I'm looking forward to. Des?
So Jay, you're saying that The Rock is going to challenge Roman Reigns for the head of the table, the basically have a tribal chief match. Is what you're saying for WrestleMania?
Yes, that's what I've been calling from day one with those two. The title doesn't mean nothing to Roman. I mean to The Rock. He doesn't want the belt. Everything that Roman's been talking about has been head of the table, tribal chief, this tribal chief that, I rise above all levels, I'm this, I'm that. There's never been an official, okay, fine. Roman beat everybody that he was supposed to beat as far as the OGs that he fought. But it never came down to where he fought his father. To where he fought his family, and this needed to happen. This has been a buildup for years now. That was supposed to probably happen last year, and it didn't happen last year. So now you're pushing it to now, which is this year. You know, if we don't get it now, we ain't getting it later. So let's get it out the way. Let's, let's get excited for what The Rock has to do, working with the company in the future. And this is, as we say, the swan song for The Rock.
So
Leave. Talk to me.
all right. So what you're saying is right. Okay. So Cody, when he was face to face with Roman, he said to him, "What does finishing the story means to you?" But he never gave a chance for Roman to respond. He said, "Is finishing the story taking the championship from you, or is finishing the story taking everything from you, being the champion and being the person that basically the tribal chief?" He hinted saying like you said that you own everything. You own the announce tables. You own the cameraman. You own the people. He was like, is that what you consider finish the story? And Roman was in his ring saying yeah. And then that's when he brought out The Rock. So do you think that if The Rock takes the tribal, chief situation from Roman, that Cody would go after him for the championship, because he said that's what he really wants. But he's conceding this situation to The Rock because he talked to The Rock ahead of time, and he understood what The Rock was saying. So is that where you're coming from?
More or less, yeah. It was, Cody knows what he's doing, and there's no other way but to do it this way, because now if you take that thing around his neck, that Olafala, then you make Roman more vulnerable to losing, and knowing now he can be had at any moment, and now I can strike when I need to strike. So I see it playing out that way, and eventually, Roman trying to sidetrack things later on down the line to push this, or further. So I want to see how everything plays out with the situation with The Rock, because The Rock could be, like I said, The Rock could be softening up Roman for somebody else, not necessarily just Cody, because like we said, Damian Priest has until July. What if The Rock, does that, softens him up to the point where Damian Priest tries to really cash in on Roman, which I've been calling out for a long time now, that's the big kahuna. If you're gonna try to, dethrone him, is that the chance at Mania to get your moment? I would say hell yeah, or go all for it, because The Rock is already there. Why not add on to the prestige of what WrestleMania is? And that's, everybody having their moment at a certain time. And maybe that can be a way of doing it. Maybe, like Cody said, I don't have to do it. Somebody else can. So like you said, you said it right. We got to see now how that plays out. So I'm looking forward to everything and how this storyline goes from here on out. Let's see. I know everybody's pretty much excited themselves, just hearing about it. Like, what, The Rock? Like, damn, like, everybody, even those who don't even watch wrestling, are probably like, okay, fine. Now I gotta probably put Peacock on because my guy The Rock is on, and they're more fans of him during the movie era than the wrestling era. So they'll go back and they'll watch The Rock just for this moment only. So, everybody stay tuned. And man, it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy these next couple of months. Des,
I,
any final
I,
thoughts?
yeah, I agree with you 100%. It's only February. WrestleMania is not until April, the beginning of April. So we have a lot of time between now and then to figure things out. With that being said, that is Friday Night Smackdown. We had a lot to digest, a lot to take in after Royal Rumble, a lot of signings, a lot of appearances, a lot of everything. Triple H and crew, I give you y'all flowers. You guys are moving this company forward. Yeah, we had news to get into, but I don't want to down the situation that's going on with WWE right now, so we will not get into the news tonight. Jay, if you have any closing words, I would love to hear that before I close out the show.
Well, my final thoughts on tonight is, I'm happy with everything that happened. And, like I said earlier, I'm really edgy now at my seat, just waiting for what's next within the brands itself. We had a great week of wrestling. I ain't gonna lie to you. Monday, Tuesday, Friday, they fed us great this week of wrestling. And, I'm excited for what's ahead. And shout out to everybody that's been in here listening to us these past couple of hours, do our thing. Shane, I saw you out there. I'm sorry I didn't shout you out. I love you, my guy. And, Coast, Donatella, Resterio, Steppers, Pops, Drew, everybody. Love y'all. And stay tuned, because on Sunday night, there's an NXT pay-per-view that not too much people know about that's coming on, which is called Vengeance Day. And, I'm going to be hosting the show live with my guy Shane O'Mac. And stay tuned. It's going to be a lot of hot stuff coming this weekend, and wrestling is great. Des, close it.
Yes, before I close it out, we got one last voice note from our girl, Donatella. Donatella, go ahead and state what you got to say, girl.
I'd like to ask you fellas one question. Well, it's like a 3-part question before you guys leave, because I see you're wrapping up. I think I told you guys I'm not really into, today's wrestling. I'm more of a fan of the wrestling back in the day, way, way, way back in the day. So I want to ask you guys, who do you feel like was the best tag team back in the day, WWF days. You know, I'm talking about Roddy Piper and them days. Even as far back as maybe Hulk Hogan. Speaking of Hulk Hogan, who do y'all think Miss Elizabeth really loved? And then, is it me or was Goldust like super freaky? Like, I don't know. I felt like he was freaky and I didn't like it. Shout out to y'all.
Goldust, if I can be PC, Goldust
Be the
was
historian. Yes, be the
he was
historian
he
for the
was
night.
no, he was androgynous. That'll be the word that I'll use for Goldust describing him back in the day. As far as tag teams, in my day, I remember I go back to the mid '90s, late '90s, early 2000s, and then the late 2010s. So in my time with tag teams, oh man, um, freak it. In my time, when I was a kid, I'll go ahead and say the New Age Outlaws were the best tag team during my time. Jay, she went further back than what I can remember. So, what do you think? She brought up Hogan and all these other peoples.
Wow. You know, one thing about I'll say with the ending that she did with the Gold Dust. Oh man, he played a great role in what he did back then. Very freaky minded, the way the character was, and funny. But when his brother tried to replicate it, I hated it. And until this day now, that's what I see from his brother is the same. You know, I still see that
He didn't
old
have.
character. You know,
He
I'm not
didn't.
just saying. I'm just saying. I'm
Come
just
on, don't.
saying.
Yeah, but don't
I'm
don't don't
going
don't.
to.
I've been
I'm just
nice.
letting her
Don't
know.
don't
I'm
make.
just letting
See,
her know. I'm
you
letting
don't know
her
about.
know.
You don't know about
Okay,
him.
but he's in the current. She's heard us talk about him, so we feeding her that little
No,
insight. But I'm
she
going
don't
back
know.
to my tag teams. She heard us enough tonight. She heard us for like 2.5 hours straight tonight. So I
We
give it
never.
to her. She's heard. She's hearing it. So she's knowing something. She's catching
She
on to
don't know
something.
who he
So,
is. What are you talking about?
but she's hearing
You
it.
talking
She's
about
kind
two
of
different
knowing
guys?
something.
Two different
But
characters. We
let's.
talk about.
I yo man.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
brothers. They're
I'm,
brothers.
I'm,
They're brothers at the end
I'm
of
not
the
allowing the hate tonight. I'm not allowing it. I'm not allowing
day.
it.
I had to throw one in there for the night before the night was over. But like,
Gosh,
if I had to go one tag team back in the days, like wow, bro, I grew up to so many tag teams. Like it's hard, really. Like I would go out on a limb and say like maybe like if I could go out of WWE, I would probably go to Steiner Brothers. You know, but if I'm going WWF, I'm going like maybe Legion of Doom.
I knew he was going to say them. I knew he was going to say the Legion of Doom. And I felt that coming in my soul. But the funny thing is, the Steiner brothers were in WWF, whatever. They were in the company. They both were in the company. But I knew we were going to go with Legion of Doom because they were in my time too. So,
Right, right.
but again, I'm gonna still go with the Outlaws, New Age Outlaws, because in my time during the Attitude Era, they won the tag team championships a lot. You know, regardless of the Dudley Boys and the Hardys and Edge and Christian, they were great.
Right.
They were great tag teams too. But yeah, I'm gonna stick with the New Age Outlaws, and I'm sure
They
you're gonna
have
see.
they have one of the best intros of all time. The way they talk to the crowd, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. I
Oh,
say
you
that is
did?
probably, bro. When Road Dogg will come in and he'd be like, "Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages,
Yeah.
the Generation Next is proud to present to you its tag team champions of the world,
Now,
the
bro,
Road Dogg Jesse
he
James."
said the WWF Tag Team Champions of the World. That's what he said. Don't shortcome everybody. We all know what the name of the company
Hey, hey,
was
hey.
in 2002. It was
I had
WWF.
to,
We
I
ain't
know,
got.
but
We
I just
don't
had
have nothing against us from the paying the people. It's WWF. Come on now.
okay. The crowd knows.
Well, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we appreciate everybody listening in tonight. Everybody that joined in tonight, who sent in a voice note, everybody that listened in tonight, we appreciate y'all. Thank y'all so very much. And again, shout out to our guy, Shane O'Mac. Shout out to his boy, Double J, JJ. Rest in peace. And don't forget that we have another Three Bells podcast coming up this Sunday at 10:30 p.m. after the NXT Vengeance Day pay-per-view, where it will be hosted by our guys Triple J and Shane O'Mac. And don't forget to join me with my guys Triple J and Shane O'Mac on Monday for Monday Night Raw. Until then, everyone, thank you so very much. Coast, Lawan, Quavo, Drew, make sure your ass is at work tomorrow. Pops, I love you. Donatella, thank y'all so much. Until then, thank you.
Rock is cooking.
No yeet.